White Burn is the biggest deck that we have not yet seen today. You know, this is a fairly traditional version. I mean, the big divide usually is whether or not people play the big creatures or if they're just on the small ones. And it looks like Derek is just on Ash Zealot and Chandra's Phoenix, no Stormbreath Dragons or Boros Reckoners in his main deck.
Yeah, 4 Ash Zealot, 4 Chandra's Phoenix is probably the most conventional structure I see for the deck. I occasionally see 4 copies of Chandra's Phoenix, the end, and then you do see the Reckoner / Stormbreath Dragon creature bases at times as well.
Now this is a build of Burn that's very, very spell oriented, where a lot of people play Chandra Pyromaster. Derek is actually just literally all removal: Magma Jet, Searing Blood, Skullcrack, Chain to the Rocks, Helix, Strike, Boros Charm, and Shock, all removal or burn.
Game 3 underway here. Derek Walker on a mulligan. Joshua Bauer on the play. Leads off with the duress. Sees a hand of Skullcrack. Toil and Trouble. 2 Chandra's Phoenix and 2 Mountains.
So what do you think of using Toil and Trouble in a deck with literally 0 black mana?
I would find a way to get some Temple of Malices into this deck.
Right, it's
or
such
Temple
an
of
easy
Silence.
fit.
Yeah.
Just a few Temple of Malices would cost you so little.
And guess what? Against Mono Black Devotion, you often are in the market to pay 2 life to draw 2 cards. So they're trying to run you out of resources.
Yep, absolutely. Josh Bauer playing a traditional mono black deck. We were discussing before the split. He's one of the people on the 3 Devour Flesh, 2 Bile Blight, 1 Duress train.
Controversial.
Yeah, very controversial. And like so many other people, he is the rogue, brewer who's playing a mixture of Night Veil Spectre and Lifebane Zombie. Because why not?
And there's Lifebane Zombie. Shows the 2 Chandras, 2 copies of Chandra's Phoenix, a Skullcrack, Boros Charm, and a Mountain.
Absolutely.
So there is a 3rd land and a Chandra's Phoenix.
Phoenix getting in there. All the Walker really wants to do is race. That Lifebane Zombie, mostly about the information. Eventually just going to eat a couple points of damage.
4 copies of Searing Blood in Derek's main deck too, so this Lifebane Zombie potentially comes with a very large bullseye on it.
Absolutely, and Josh Bauer, not one of the staff of the Death Magus adoptees, which is just absolutely devastating for these red-white burn decks.
Yes.
And as a result, he's going to have to try to make do with a couple Farika's Cures instead.
So here comes Chandra's Phoenix. Not playing the second one before combat, respecting the possibility of Bile Blight here. See what Derek's follow-up is here momentarily. Just going to send it back.
He does just ship the turn. Now, he doesn't have any white mana yet, which is stunting him a little bit.
Yeah, he does have Boros Charm in hand alongside Chain of the Rocks.
This is another one. I mean, this is another Mutavault deck we were talking about.
3 copies.
Absolutely. That's what I love about Standard is it's not a for sure thing. You can do whatever you want. You can play 3 Mutavaults or you can play 4.
Right.
You choose. Derek in his best Derek Plains Walker with the hoodie that lets you know that he is serious about entering this plane, walking it, and then leaving after he wins.
Chandra's Phoenix is back. Bauer takes 2. He had Grey Merchant in hand last turn and chose not to deploy it, aware of the fact that Derek had Skullcrack in hand. Now I think we may see Grey Merchant this turn.
Absolutely. Very smart play by Josh.
Drain for 4 is so valuable against a burn strategy naturally.
Absolutely. And Derek's been taking these Lifebane Zombie hits pretty liberally. He's now down to 7.
Well, I don't think Derek's hand really gives him the option of even killing the Lifebane Zombie, even if he was in the market to. He's got some Boros Charms.
Yeah, without white mana, no way to use that Chain to the Rocks. And that's the thing, when you play a bunch of cards like Toil and Trouble, Skullcrack, and Boros Charm, you gotta accept sometimes that you can't kill creatures.
Yep. Also makes it very challenging to beat the card Duress. Because you're equipped to deal 20, but with all of your resources, but when your hand gets attacked, it's really tough.
Now, generally the red-white burn deck has a pretty sizable advantage in this matchup just because of how much life the mono black deck has to pay.
I have not found that to be the case in my experience playing Burn. I think the Black Devotion matchup is okay, but not great.
Yeah. It's okay. So it's more
overstated.
Of a small. Yeah. Okay. And if they ever have Staff of the Death Magus, forget about it.
Or even just a fast Desecration Demon.
Yeah.
You can just lose to that pretty easily as well.
Yeah. If you don't have Chain to the Rocks, which in this case the white mana to cast it. Interesting. Decides to block to buy himself one more turn potentially.
Josh plays a Scryland. Leaves on top.
That's a bad sign.
And
this is for top 8 on the line.
Potentially an opportunity to draw.
Yep.
No certainties here, but
Well, this is life.
another toil and trouble off the top here. So Josh can shoot Joshua. Derek can shoot Joshua for 1 point of damage here.
Yeah, that earlier toil and trouble getting duress has not proven to be too important. Without having the black mana even as an option, the draw 2 element, not really a factor.
I think that if you want to have your toil and troubles be good against mono black devotion, the conclusion I eventually drew was you have to cut all your creatures. Because your creatures are time sensitive, you kind of have to cast them as soon as possible. That allows the Black Devotion deck to curve out with their removal. Their hand just gets reduced naturally as the game progresses, and your Toil and Trouble just does less and less work. You have to choke them on removal spells to make Toil and Trouble an effective weapon.
Absolutely. You got to choke them if you want to have trouble. Derek trying to see if there's anything he can do to set himself up to try to get out of this. Right? Like, I mean, what is the sequence that gets him out of this? Because he can block with a Chandra's Phoenix this turn, potentially. But where does that leave him next turn? Because he doesn't have War Leader's Helix or white mana.
Yeah.
He does offer the hand. After Farika's Cure cements the victory for Josh Bauer, hoping to be able to draw into top 8 next round.
His buddies behind him celebrating a little bit, flashing what I can only presume are some fake gang symbols. Congratulations, Joshua Bauer. X and 1 position to draw in potentially next round.